2 years ago, I stood before you as a relatively new president and told you that regardless of my family history at Beth Tzedec, that I had never actually dreamt about being president of our shul. Last year, I had the distinction of being the first president to deliver their High Holy Day address virtually at a time when we thought we were entering the beginning of the end of the COVID-19 pandemic. There is no way that we could have anticipated that we would once again keep our building closed as a third and fourth wave forced us to continue blending online and in-person experiences. The pandemic brought with it a whole new lexicon: serve, live stream, virtual chagim, spiritually near while physically distant. What has not changed in the last 18 months is our concern for and our commitment to ensuring the well-being of each and every member of Beth Tzedec. Historically, the synagogue has been an integral component of Jewish life. Whether it was in ancient Israel, the shtetls of Europe, or the juras of Morocco, the synagogue sat not only at the center of the Jewish neighborhood, but also as the focus of Jewish life. When we travel, as Jews, we are often drawn to the Jewish neighborhoods and visit the shuls of our ancestors. Our direct ancestors, my grandfather included, whose pictures have a place of honor in our boardroom, understood the importance of shul in their lives when they merged Gold Tzedek and Beit HaMidrash HaGadol, moved uptown, and built this beautiful building. For me, growing up in the 70s here at Beth Tzedec was about spending time not only with JB, but also attending junior congregation with all my friends. This was at the heyday of conservative Judaism. No one could have anticipated at that time that it would ever change. As lives got busier, the synagogue became less of a focal point and more of a place to celebrate life cycle events and the High Holy Days. Many articles have been written about the decline of organized religion and conservative Judaism. What COVID has demonstrated on a daily basis for the last 18 months is in fact how significant the synagogue, and most especially Beth Tzedec, actually is in our day-to-day lives. At Beth Tzedec, our mission is to inspire and enable our community to live meaningful Jewish lives so that we are as relevant for our grandchildren as the synagogue was for our grandparents. We could not have imagined how prescient this mission statement would be as our lives changed completely in the face of the pandemic. Last fall, we outlined our 6 core values: care, connect, learn, pray, celebrate, and give and get. Each of these values support us on a daily basis in fulfilling our mission at Beth Tzedec to inspire and enable our community to live meaningful Jewish lives. And they continue to drive us in our actions throughout the transformation from in-person to online and back to in-person. These values help guide us to ensure that our shul is as relevant as ever. But one value, connect or connection, is what we have all been craving. Ask Raina Jolly. Beth Tzedec has been a lifeline for her since the beginning of the pandemic. A regular shul goer, Raina felt increasingly isolated as lockdowns dragged on. Along with some assistance from Yaakov Fruchter and his volunteer team, Raina was able to access live stream services, join the weekly Kiddush Club with a newly installed camera so that everyone could see her, and receive challahs through our Challah for Chesed program on a weekly basis. She also joined one of our small groups, an initiative that launched early on in the pandemic and has proved to be an enormous success. Raina has told me on more than one occasion that Beth Tzedec helped ensure that she felt less alone over the last year and a half. And there have been so many other means for our members to connect. The weekly L'chaim Kiddush Club, musical Megillah and holiday programs, baking for Valhafta, Es Gesundheit, and most recently, our Kululam project are just some of the examples of the ways we have been able to connect with each other. All of these efforts are meant to deepen relationships with and between members, and we have received hundreds of positive emails and phone calls responding to and supporting the work that is being done. We celebrated bar and bat mitzvahs as well as weddings in the building once again, panim el panim, face to face, bringing happiness and kavod to the ceremonies, which are still not quite back to normal. And in March, we announced that our SLT will begin officiating at same-sex marriages, an important step forward towards full inclusion for our kehillah. All good reasons to celebrate and connect. We give and get at Beth Tzedec as we look to provide opportunities to participate in philanthropic initiatives and social justice programs. Our community is diverse, and in recognition of this fact, a Ready Task Force was struck to champion the inclusion of all members of the Jewish community at Beth Tzedec. Although our regular Out of the Cold program with Beth Shalom was unable to proceed as usual, we continue to partner in bringing thousands of meals, water, clothing, and connection to those who were in need throughout Toronto. And we started a food insecurity fund to help those in our own community who were suffering financially. The need is so great, and I thank all of you who gave of your time and money to help us help others. While I can wax poetic about all the ways that we connect with our members, what I've also learned over the last 18 months is how many people have not felt welcome in our building. Jews of color being questioned so that they feel that they don't have a place in our kehillah. Members of the LGBTQ+ community who told us how uncomfortable they were in our building. Those with severe allergies who are forced to daven in the hallway due to the amount of perfume and cologne in the air. And more traditional members who did not find a place for themselves when we moved services fully online. It is not enough to make people feel welcome when they walk into our building. They should feel that they belong, that this is their community as much as it is mine or yours. That is the synagogue that I want to continue building. These are just some of the ways that Beth Tzedec is always here for you. And once again, we need you to be here for your shul. The coming year remains cloaked in uncertainty, so I am asking again for help. Beth Tzedec is our spiritual, educational, and communal home. It connects, supports, and enriches our lives. If you are able again this year to help us continue to do that with excellence, then we ask for your support in generously giving at whatever level you are able. Last year, our members helped us raise just under $500,000 between our membership relief fund and our Chanukah Habayit campaign, an incredible show of support in what was a difficult year for so many. Following Rosh Hashanah, you will receive an email with information on making a gift to our membership relief fund. Once again, this year, the tab down will be virtual. If you gave last year, can you renew your pledge or increase it slightly? If you were not able to give, can you do so now? Give what is comfortable for you, and then, if you can, give a little more. If you are not in the financial position to contribute, consider giving your time. Volunteers have always been the lifeblood of Beth Tzedec, but even more so throughout the pandemic. Without our member volunteers, we could not have made thousands of phone calls, organized programming, led numerous small groups, and helped plan these high holy days. Giving is measured in more than dollars. Over the last 18 months, thanks to Rev Steve, I kept going back to the Rahm Emanuel quote, paraphrasing Winston Churchill. You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that is an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before. Here at Beth Tzedec, we know that strategic decisions will have to be made post-pandemic. Membership contributions only cover 45% of our operational costs. While the synagogue may still be at the center of Jewish life, we know that membership may not be viewed as important with so many other competing priorities. What if we could change the culture so that membership becomes relational rather than transactional? What if we could create an endowment fund, institute planned giving and other fundraising means so that membership contributions became voluntary? What if we could find new ways to monetize our building? What if we could dedicate ourselves to connecting face to face, panim el panim, so that we can learn to see and appreciate each other in new and innovative ways? These are some of the questions that the board of directors will be looking at over the coming year. Now is not only the time to dream big, it is the time to act boldly. We invite you to participate in these challenging discussions. Contact me if you would like to be a part of them. I am so humbled to be president at a time of so much positive change and connection. I may not have dreamed about being president when I sat with my grandfather at shul, but after more than 2 years, I do feel like it was meant to be. I love Beth Tzedec. It is my second home. It is up to all of us to ensure that our kehillah continues to thrive and to remain at the center of the lives of our children and grandchildren. I ask you once again to join me as we continue to write new chapters in the inspiring story that is Beth Tzedec. On behalf of Patty Rotman and the board of directors, I wish you and your families Shana Tova u'Metuka.